finally felt it. The feeling I have longed for so long. I can feel the ripple of change against the veil, and it's calling me. They killed the Guardian. They even made its lair their home. Now all that's left to do is guide them to what I hold most dear. Aerolith, listen to me, child. I am calling you for a greater purpose now. Soon 3 men will come and take our treasure. It will set everything about our plans in motion. Go with them, Aerolith. Allow them to take you with the treasure. Gain their complete and utter trust. Kill your sisters if you need to. Allow everyone but me to think you have turned against me. Make them believe you are a true traitor. I will use you to break the seals. You will complete my final order when the time is perfect, and then I will show you my love. When this is over, you will sit beside me, the one true follower. I will make you a goddess among these peasants. Soon the veil will fall. Soon, with the corruption of the world, I will walk free again. Soon I will get my sweet, sickening revenge. They took me and threw me out, pushed me into the deep, dark corners of the world. I will take all from them, and I will plunge them into my darkness. The time of the spiders is now.
Hello, everybody. How are we doing? How's everybody's Easter Sunday been? Spooters? Nah, don't worry about that. Let's get this hoo-hoo going. How you doing, guys? How's everybody? Plummet, obviously all of my players. Akmorn, Pixie Dragon, Blogosaur, I see you in there. Moose, how you doing? It's good to see everybody. Let's just get a couple things set up here real quick. I miss Jay. Yeah, everybody misses Jay. She'll be back soon. She's just moving. Something like that, yeah. She's kind of mid-move. And let's turn this on. And got all that going. And let's unleash the cast. Hello, peoples.
Oh, hi.
Oh no.
Somebody sounds like they're stuffing their face. It wouldn't be D&D. D&D without eating.
Well, you too.
Yes.
Xandar needs to eat.
All right, yeah. So as you guys saw, that was the little teaser trailer for somebody very important to the story. If you guys in chat missed it for whatever reason, you can go here and see all of our past episodes and that little teaser trailer thing, and some more lore stuff that's going to be coming out on that. Also, our one shot that we did in the jungles of Okaha are also on there.
Why did it have to be snakes?
You don't need to watch that.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I enjoyed it, even though
I did too.
I mean, yeah, things happen. People died. People
Was it
died
worth it?
again.
No spoilers. No spoilerino.
One people died.
So yeah, you can go to the YouTube. Also, if you're new, you can ! Any of the characters' names. Like, I think that's how you spell your name. Nope. There you go. Stiz spelled his name right.
Strike
No,
two.
I didn't. I
You're
don't wanna
missing
talk
an
about it.
O. You're missing an O, buddy. Anyways, you can click on any of those links for each of the characters' names. The characters are all in the panel below, and you can get their backstory and their current ability stats.
Hello.
Oh, it's a cat.
He's tiny.
It's a cat, and I made it.
I spelled my name wrong down there too.
I didn't do my sheet.
What, your character sheet?
Yeah.
Well, I gave you the spell, so the only there's two things that we need you to do.
Huh.
We need you to pick your meta magic,
Okay.
which is like the special little ability you get for being a sorcerer, and I need you to roll for your health, which is 1d6 plus 1.
Okay.
Or
And
take the
try
average.
to do better than Mac did.
What is the meta magic?
So it's in the book, but
What? No. What are the options?
Remember how I was telling you about the double cast and stuff like that?
Yeah, so you've got like careful
Yeah.
spell or distant spell, or you've got quicken spell or subtle spell where you can like. So subtle spell is like you can use a spell that you would normally have to say something to use. You can do it silently if you spend key points for it. Or with distant spell, you increase the range of a spell if you use sorcerer points for it.
Okay. What was the slash roll 1d what? 6?
Slash
Rather
R
my health?
1d6 plus 1. Yep.
Okay. And do I add the plus 1 like the
Yeah, just
together?
yeah.
Okay.
Hey, way better. So go ahead and add that 6 to your total hit points.
Hey.
And that's my armor class, right?
No, hit points.
That would be nice.
Oh, I see hit points. Never mind. Okay, so it's 17.
Hey.
Okay.
Could you imagine who's on armor class?
If you have the
And then
player's
like that
handbook, or
spell
if you have it pulled up, you can just
the-
kind of read through them. Misty Step is basically a 30-foot teleport that you can use as a bonus action.
That I use as the cat.
Huh?
Oh,
Misty
Oh,
Step
the
is
teleport?
yeah, it's a 30-foot teleport that you can use
Hold
as a
on, let me
bonus
look that
action.
I want to see the shit for
So
that.
you can cast a regular spell and then teleport.
Yep.
I'm
Or-
out of here.
Teleport the fuck away from somebody's axe in your face. All right.
Like mine.
So when last
I
we
hope
left
your axe wouldn't be in her face.
our intrepid party, they had gone through. Well, they had left Riv Run. They had gone through the forest to the south, and then they met some characters. Met some interesting people. A lot of Nathans, surprisingly. They met a young boy on the road who was crying over a broken pot and some spilled water. Kyler, being the person that he is, proceeded to help him, and then the boy made it seem like he was being abused. When the party went to the plantation house to see what was up, it turns out that the little boy likes to lie, and was kind of just pulling them along, hoping to get some sympathy or maybe some money out of the travelers, so that he could run away because he didn't want to be a farmer anymore. They eventually went down to the forest. They stayed at the checkpoint to the entrance of the forest. Tiny had some choice words with the guards, and then she proceeded to make sure that the systems in place were the correct ones. And she got some kind of useful information, depending on who you are, out of the guard ledger that was there as the guard showed her how he did his stuff, basically. As that was going on, the rest of the party met Nathan, who confirmed himself as an Order of the Red Ivy. asked them what exactly it was that they were doing, and then, kind of just made small talk and then walked out into the forest. The next morning they woke up, they went into the forest. They had a pretty decent time in the forest. Nothing crazy happened until later on the next day when Tiny heard an injured animal and went off to investigate and found a puddle of what seems to be glass. Although it was clearly water, it had the appearance of glass. Where the brook or the creek was running into it before and splashing, and one of the animals was also licking water out of it and splashing. The sheet of glass remained. No ripples, no anything. Tiny went closer to investigate the wounded animal. As she did, a large rose bush appeared and blocked her path out of like a wall. And this is where she met what she assumes is a dryad, who, after speaking with her and realizing her intention was pure, gave Tiny a leaf. And Tiny has come to believe that that leaf gives her the ability to speak to animals.
Squirrels.
Tiny at least knows squirrels for sure. And one deer. The deer did speak to you too.
And a deer.
So after that whole thing was done, you guys camped for the night. You continued throughout the forest, where you eventually came across an open field, and the earth started quaking underneath of you. 3 of you kind of walked forward to investigate, and as that happened, a boulette leaped out of the ground into the air and down on top of the 3 of you, crushing one of you immediately. Xander was eventually able to get back up. You guys, or not Xander, I'm sorry, Kyler.
I was never knocked down.
You say that, but what about the drinking competition?
Oh no,
That's
He
different.
doesn't remember that.
I don't.
you guys eventually took out the boulette. It was definitely a challenging fight. There were a couple harrowing moments in that. And then as you killed the boulette and you were like looking around, making sure things are good, Nathan appeared out of the trees again and said that you had passed your first test. And then he was surprised. And then he would meet you at the keep. And then you turned right back around and walked into the forest. You guys then walked out of the forest into the fields on the other side. And you could now clearly see the mountains in front of you. And in the distance, you could make out where there is a keep. Kind of like set into the stone as the sun is setting behind the mountains. Did you guys decide whether or not you wanted to camp here, or if you were just going to walk to the keep and then...
We're gonna walk to the keep.
Okay.
Yeah, we were gonna head to the keep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that is what happened. That's where we left our party. Let me make sure we've got everything good to go on this side. What should we do? All right. So you guys continue to walk towards the mountains. It's very clearly obvious where you need to go. As you walk up towards these mountains, you see the keep etched out of it. So it's not meant to be there. You can tell that there's probably some caves and stuff behind it. But that this keep is, it's not all local stone and stuff like that. Like, it's clearly cut and put up there. It's not just cut out of the mountain. There's like a courtyard down on like the ground level. There's stairs that reach up into the main keep. It's got the medieval castle vibe to it. It's very, very ornate, very well kept. There's red banners hanging off of the walls, and there's a nice road leading from the forest to the keep with lanterns lit, basically showing your path. It's definitely like a sanctuary place in the wilderness. As you guys continue to walk forward, you eventually come to that courtyard. where you see some training dummies set up. You see some buckets for like water and stuff like that. You know, piles of hay, the normal things that you would expect to see in kind of like a monastery-ish. I just lost what it was called. Anyways, it looks exactly how you would expect it to look. It's very ornate, very grand. You see a couple fighters, you would assume, in chain, and they're on like the wall precipice, kind of just like walking back and forth, looking out over to the forest. They don't really seem to pay you any attention. They notice that you're there, and you can see them look at you, but they kind of just continue to look out over the wilderness as if, you know, there's bigger things to worry about. And eventually, you come up to the stairs that lead to the main keep, and you see Nathan standing on those stairs. He's like halfway up, and that's what you see.
So, Kyler, did we just gotta present ourselves up here, or did the passage say that we had to do anything special when we arrived, or?
Yeah. You're the only one who he seemed to talk to.
Well, he's standing there. We can go ask him.
I'm gonna push Kyler a bit and be like, yeah, go talk to him then.
Well, I will head up towards where Nathan is standing.
All right, yep. So as you walk forward, he's like standing there staring down at you guys. So as you go to walk forward, he turns around pointedly and walks towards the open, like cathedral style doors at the top. It's clearly like all right, you know, follow me or whatever.
Yep, I'm following.
Follow
I guess-
behind.
So I
Well-
guess in we go.
Come on, boy.
We've been beckoned.
Mhm.
I assume you're on Vor's shoulders now, or what?
Uh-huh.
Okie dokie.
As is now the standard.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so you guys make it up the stairs. They're pretty hefty stairs. In fact, Vor, Kyler, and Stisk and Xander roll a Constitution save.
Oh boy.
Nice.
Damn.
All right, so Kyler, Vorag, and yeah, that's Kyler, Vorag, and Xander. It's not so much for Xander at all. You're kind of just like going up. It's no big deal. They're just stairs. For Kyler and Vorag, it sucks. I mean, you're making it fine. You're not really winning or anything like that. It's bullshit that you're walking up these stupid stairs. Especially you, Vorag, with another person on you.
Yeah, she doesn't weigh that much. It's fine.
Stisk, this shit sucks.
Why are there so many stairs?
Yeah, it's exactly what you're like right now. You're like getting winded. You're breathing heavy. The paladin's kind of like turning around, looking at you
Oh,
like
come
you're
on,
weird.
Sticks. Catch up. Where's all that dexterity for climbing trees?
How about
I
let's
was
trade?
born in the
I'll ride up
mountains.
on the floor for now. You can come up the rest of the stairs.
I don't think
Come
he
on,
wants
Vor.
you right on him.
Come on, we'll switch. Me and Tanner are gonna switch for a little while.
You weigh quite a bit more than Tiny. Just saying.
You don't know that.
I do know that.
All right, so you guys do eventually make it up the stairs. The long, arduous process that it is.
Definitely stick close to the cliff wall, not the falling edge.
The stairs are pretty wide. They're, you know,
I still stay as far away from the edge
Yeah.
of death as possible.
probably a good
Are
idea
you
for
scared
you.
of heights?
No.
He's scared of his own 2 feet.
I think he's more scared of tripping.
Yeah, so you guys walk up the stairs into the cathedral, you know, style doors and into this open, huge great hall. As you look around, you can tell that this was a natural cave or cavern or something. The stone has been cut away and made so that it's more elegant to look at. As you look up, or actually all of you, roll a perception check.
Well,
I feel like I'm missing somebody.
We all did pretty good.
no, we got everybody.
Yeah, I don't know why. Anyways, yeah, so you guys look around. First things that you notice, there's tables set out, kind of like, I hate to use this as a reference, but like the Great Hall in Harry Potter, where there's like long wooden benches.
So it's a great room.
Yeah, basically, but there's people sitting at different spots in all of these benches, eating, talking, drinking, going over maps or notes. All of them have varying sorts of like leather or chain armor. A couple are wearing plate. You guys notice that it's not all humans. There's a lot of elves. There's half elves. There's a couple drow. There's a couple dwarves. There's a gnome in the back corner going out, like poring over notes. There's a couple dragonborn. There's even a tabaxi sitting with the gnome going over what looks to be notes or a map or something. You can't really tell. So
I wouldn't have recognized anyone, right?
You do not.
Okay.
Or not now or whatever. Not from what you can see.
Okay.
You also notice as you look up a huge skeleton of a dragon. Probably all of you, with the exception of maybe Xander, have seen like things in books, like drawings of like dragon skeletons and that kind of stuff. It does nothing compared to like what the actual justice is, and the way that the keep has it lit up. There's like chandeliers that are sitting on top of it that are obscured by the skeleton, and it casts this like haunting shadow down on the rest of the floor beneath it. And the way like the sconces with the torchlight flicker and stuff, it makes that shadow and the skeleton itself almost come to life. So it's kind of a frightening experience. It's definitely otherworldly. Like as soon as you walk in, and it's like in your face. But it's hanging a good 60 feet above everything.
That's inviting.
On one side, you can see, on like if you're looking towards your left, you can see a couple different doors. Towards the back of the hall, you can also see another set of 2 doors. And then towards your right, you can see a couple more sets of doors that seem to lead into different parts of the mountain. One of them seems to probably lead back outside. You're not really sure of the layout or anything like that. And then in the middle of the Great Hall, waiting for you to show up, is Nathan. Kind of like with a smug look on his face.
Okay, I'm gonna
Hello,
walk up.
stranger.
I see you've managed to best the mountain.
No trouble.
Why are there so many stairs?
Easy enough.
Well, no trouble for most of us, anyways.
Right, you seem like you got off the easiest. You must be the smartest.
Yeah. You know it.
So, does this group of unlikely friends have a name?
Not that I know of.
No? Okay.
No.
Well,
Sorry, we're not that.
Creative.
I was gonna say cliche.
oh. Well, I guess I'll just have to address you individually then. Either which way, welcome to the Order of the Red Ivy and the Red Ivy Keep. As you can see, it's been forged through a lot of intensive labor, but it is our home. Is there a specific reason why you've come here?
I look at Kyler.
So
Kyler,
we're
take
all
out that
just gonna look
flyer.
at Kyler.
Yeah, I'll take out the flyer too and kind of hold it up. I
That-
heard that you
that's
guys
why.
were looking for members, and I am not speaking for the others, but for myself personally, I am interested in joining and becoming a member of the Red Ivy.
Aye. Well, we are looking for adventuring parties. To do some certain things that we need. It's a lot easier to do things far-reaching when you've got new people coming in. Unfortunately, our line of work is not always the most safe.
Is
And
it lawfully connected?
as he says safe, you hear like a couple of the initiates order members, you're not really sure what they are, like kind of chuckle to themselves that are sitting at the tables near you. When you say that, he looks at you and says, "We're in favor with all kingdoms on this great land."
Uh-huh. Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Mm-hmm. He says, "Well, I can say that you've passed the first test magnificently, and that boulette was rather tough, so congratulations."
Stairs were
have-
harder.
I do have one question, though,
Mhm.
however, about this keep.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a library?
There most certainly is a library. Unfortunately, you must be a member of the order to access it. There are
Well,
secrets
count me in as a
within.
member.
Hopefully we will get there, yes. Anyways, I assume that you are all very tired from your journey and fight, so I will lead you to the inn, where you are more than welcome to stay until the morning, where we can discuss the furthering of the process. Do any of you have any questions?
Somewhere I could buy a new bow.
There are stores and arms here, but unfortunately that's something that you would have to be a member for. We don't really sell so much as equip. Any other questions?
Yeah, do you have sweet rolls?
I'm sure Inris will be happy to take care of your sweet needs.
And we don't have to be
Excellent.
members for sweet rolls, right?
No. As you guys are saying this, he eventually, like, he kind of starts walking as he's talking to you towards the left side of the room, and towards that first door. As you guys are looking around, one of the back doors, out comes a human male, probably about in his 50s or so. It's kind of hard to tell. He's very slim. He's extremely well toned. He's extremely hairless, so no hair on his head, nothing. He's very, very, very handsome. He's got like very chiseled features and all that kind of stuff. As he walks out of one of the back rooms on the right-hand side, he walks out completely naked with two other people with him. Another guy and a drow woman. And they're just laughing merrily with each other and stuff like that. And then they continue to walk across the hall into one of the doors on the right.
Is this
They're
one of
just
those
naked?
kind of orders?
I'm sorry?
Is this one of those types of orders?
At this, Nathan kind of turns around to see what you're talking about and notices him. And he's like, no. Well, see, that's Cathal, one of our founding members. He's a little eccentric, but don't mind him. And then he continues to walk. And what was your question, Kat? I didn't hear it.
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So he leads you into the room, or to the door. He opens it up, and you guys are standing back outside. There's like a small little rocked pathway, with the cliff face on one side, and then basically you're standing on like a wall. He walks you further down this, and you kind of turn around like a little rocky outcrop, and down another little small set of stairs, there is essentially like a villa laid out in a little rock valley. There's probably 2 to 3 buildings here, very nicely made out of stone and all that kind of stuff. He leads you down into this valley, into the building that's closest to the keep. He opens the door, and you guys walk into what seems to be a very nice, well-maintained inn. As you walk in, you see another human standing there who's pretty young. Well, she's not pretty young. She's younger than Cathal, the other human that you were just looking at. She seems to probably be in her late 20s. She looks around at everybody, and she's like, "Oh, goodness, new guest. I'm so happy to meet all of you. My name is Inris. Will they be staying the night, Nathan?" Nathan looks at her and says, "Yes, Inris. Be sure that they're taken care of." He says, "I will come and collect you in the morning." And then he goes to turn out the door.
Hi, Inris. I'm Tiny. Pleased to meet you.
"Oh, pleased to meet you too. You said your name was Tiny?
Yes.
And who are the rest of your friends?"
Well, the one I'm on right now, this gentleman's name is Vor. He's like my best friend. And the other tall, really buff dude, his name is Xander. And the shiny tin man over there, his name is Kyler. And the little scraggly one that's all shrouded in darkness and shit that's Styx. Don't mind him. He might disappear often.
It wouldn't be wise to disappear here, but to each his own, I guess. Not my place. Anyways.
No,
Noted.
don't tell him that. Let him learn.
Oh.
Yeah. He's one of those that needs to learn the hard way, you know?
Tragic.
Yeah, I know.
And then she turns to look at each of you and greets you all in turn, introducing herself to all of you. And she says, "Well, we have a couple of rooms that are available. There's not very many people here at the moment that don't have rooms in the keep or houses of their own or anything like that. So let me show you. Tiny, would you be liking a room to yourself?"
Yes, please.
Certainly. So come with me first. I'm sorry, actually, would you guys like to eat together before you retire?
Sure. Why not?
Okay. Well, then she kind of like motions her hand to the back corner of this small inn, and there's an empty table that clearly would probably sit over all of you, or sit all of you there. And she's like, "I will bring dinner to you shortly. Just give me a moment to prepare it." I assume you all sit down.
Sit down.
Yes.
Yep. I would put my feet on the table.
I'll smack your feet off the table.
I'm gonna put them back up there.
Kyler, just let him learn. He'll learn the hard way.
So many stairs.
Yeah.
As you guys are looking around, the patronage that's in here, there are, a few people. None of them are wearing what you've kind of taken to be like a mark of the Red Ivy. They don't have like a red cloak or a red bandana or a sash or anything like that. They all seem to be like plain civilian types. And you get the feeling that this is probably more like a village than a keep. And that this is probably like, the people that are here to help run the keep and, maintain like the village aspect of it, but aren't necessarily in the order. Also maybe some spouses or guests, you're not very sure. But it is a very cheery and friendly atmosphere for sure. Eventually, Inris does come back, and she says, "Oh, well, I see everybody's made themselves comfortable." And she starts handing out food and drinks. She does go back and get the drinks and then come back. She's not crazy or anything. She hands out all the drinks. The food is hot and fresh. You assume it looks like chicken of some kind.
Oh, I just start digging in.
Yeah. So it's chicken and fresh vegetables and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty fucking delicious. And then she's like, well, would there be anything else while you eat?
Do you have sweet roll?
I believe I can whip something up for you. And she kind of like gives you a wink, and then she turns away.
Thank you. She's nice. I like her.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, she does come back with a small little plate, like a little wooden slab, basically, and it's got 2 sweet rolls on it. And she's like,
Thank
"Oh,
you.
of course. Let me know when you're ready to turn in." And then she heads back to like the little. It's not really a bar. It's kind of just like a countertop.
Well, Kyler, what do we do now? Fearless leader.
I think we got the day off. He said he'd fetch us in the morning, so I think it's up to us.
Do whatever you'd like. It's free time. And then just make sure to not disappear and don't get in trouble. I'll say as I pointedly stare at a certain somebody at the table.
Haven't gotten in trouble yet. Don't plan on starting now.
That's fair.
You're gonna eat that little one.
My sweet roll? Yes, I will, Xander. Sorry. This
No,
one's for me.
The chicken.
The chicken? I'll split it with you.
Oh, yeah. I take the half.
Yeah. All right. Anybody
Pick out
else?
all the broccoli and I'll slat it over to Xander.
What is that?
That's broccoli.
It's,
Have you never had broccoli before?
Broccoli.
It's little trees. They make you strong.
What animal
Yeah.
is it from?
A
Earth.
tree.
Yeah. It's from Earth. Have you ever had Earth food before? Like food from the Earth?
What? Like animal?
No, it
Um,
comes from the ground.
Yeah, it comes from the ground.
Like the thing
It's
we
a
killed
plant.
the other day. Just eat it.
Try a bite.
I mean, tastes kind of earthy to you, like dirt. But it's not horrible.
He's lying to you. It is terrible.
Well-
I just start shoveling that into
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
chicken.
oh,
Yeah, so you guys all have a pretty hearty meal. You feel very rested and relaxed. It's been a long day. But you guys do feel a lot better sitting here. It's something about the atmosphere. Kat, you feel like you're back at Helga's. It's,
mhm.
you know, it's just like a home type feeling when you're here.
Okay.
Eventually, Inris does walk back to the table and says, "Would you be needing anything else?"
Do you guys have bats available?
No, not really. We have a spring where there's like a little running river and pool and stuff where people are able to bathe, but it is outdoors. Although it is the summer, so it's not that big of a deal.
Oh, that'll do.
She kind of like takes your hand and walks you to the door and then shows you past the village. Like she points out past the village and she says, just on the other side of where the village is the stream, and you can see where it forms like a natural pool.
Okay. I'll give her hand a little squeeze and I'll wink at her,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll head on over.
She seems completely oblivious.
Yes. Good.
Pretty boy can't pull this one.
And then she turns around and says, well, any of y'all need anything else? If not, I can show you to your rooms.
What time is it?
It is probably pretty late. You're thinking 9-ish.
Then I guess I'll go follow Kyler to the bathing, and from there just go to sleep.
Okay.
Nah, I want to go to my room.
All right. She takes Tiny back, and she shows you a small room. It does have like a one single bed, like a little tiny vanity with like a chair and a small chest of drawers attached to the vanity.
Mhm.
She's like, "Will this do for you?"
this is perfect. Thank you.
Great. Well, consider it yours. And she opens the
My
door.
room
and
as
she-
well, please.
Before I forget, do you know where the library is?
The library. Well, yes, there's quite a collection of all kinds of writings inside the keep itself.
Are there any books about magic?
I'm not sure. I'm not much of a reader, to be honest. Unless you know,
Oh.
it's a good love book. She kind of whispers
you're a
that
fan
to you.
Do you have any love books in the library?
She says, I have some here.
Oh. Do you think
She's
I
like-
could borrow one for tonight?
I'll be right back.
Yes.
She turns around and sees the men standing there, and she says,
My room as well.
right. And she kind of leads you down the hallway into the back room, like the farthest room in the back, opens the door, and this is by far probably the largest room. It's got 6 beds in it, 3 on each side, some chests and stuff. And she's like, this room was unoccupied, and it's more than enough for you. And she opens the door and kind of like leads you inside.
Just me.
Oh no, unfortunately, the men will have to share. I don't have that many rooms. I assume so. Stisk and Xander go into the room.
Yep.
Okay. All right. A couple minutes later, Tiny, she knocks on your door, and opens it, and she hands you a leather-bound codex. It's kind of small. It's not very big or anything like that. And she's like, "This is my favorite."
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'll give it back in the morning.
Well, I mean, take your time, enjoy it. And she closes the door. Okay. So Kyler and Vorag, you guys walk through the village. It is quaint. It's small. There's not really much, going on. Oh, 1 second. So there's not very much going on. It seems, very quiet. All of the buildings are stone with like tiled roofs and stuff. Smoke coming from some of the chimneys. You can tell that this is definitely where most of the people like live if they're not directly in the keep for some reason. As you kind of walk down through the village and around another rock corner, you can hear the running water of the stream and see the pool that it forms in front of you. There are a couple people there. You can tell that their armor is like laid to the side. One person is nursing their arm. They seem to be pretty nastily wounded. And there is a woman kneeling next to him with all of her stuff off. She's like in the pool, like sitting on the edge of the pool, taking care of his arm.
All right. Then at that point, I'll go
What's the
strip
wound
down
look
and
like?
go get in.
Okay. And what did you say, Dylan?
It's like what does a wound look like? Is it like from battle or from falling?
It's kind of hard to tell. It's some kind of like bludgeoning or slashing damage. It could be from a nasty like fall from like a rock climb or something like that, and he gashed his arm on a rock, or it could be steel. You're not super experienced with, looking at wounds and determining exactly what they are.
Can I roll medicine?
Yeah.
Or am I?
No. No, you're not. Yeah, you can tell that it's some kind of like bludgeoning or slashing. It seems to be relatively fresh. You're not well enough versed on like clotting and stuff to determine how old or fresh it is, though. It looks painful. It's deep, like you can see tissue and stuff.
Am I experienced enough to tell if the lady looking after him knows what she's doing?
She looks very much like she knows what she's doing, and also that she's enjoying causing him pain.
Oh.
Oh.
So, Kyler, you gonna get on that or?
I mean, she looks like she's occupied. Oh, the wound.
Right.
Yeah.
It is safe to say that both him and her are naked because it is a bath. So you get the impression that this isn't odd for them and that everybody in the village is kind of always like seen each other or anything like that. For Vorag, it wasn't that big of a deal.
No, not at all.
For Kyler, I'm sure it will be a big deal.
So at this point, are you still outside the bath or?
When in Red Ivy, I guess. I'll
Yeah.
start taking off my armor and my gear.
Yep.
Then I'll slide in and
How large is
kind
this
of
pool?
lean towards them, be like, "Hey,
It's
how'd that happen?"
it's big. It's like trying to think of the best way to describe it. A good 12 or 15 people could easily fit inside this pool of water and not be like on top of each other or anything like that. So it's not like hot
roughly-
tub size or anything. It's definitely like swimming pool size.
All right. Would I be able to tell roughly how deep it gets? At like its deepest point?
How tall are you?
7'4".
You can stand in it. In the middle. If you were like standing directly in the middle, you feel like it may be the water might be getting in your nose.
Oh, perfect. Then I'll just start swimming slow laps back and forth.
Okay.
Just enjoying it.
Yeah. Here's what I was looking for. Sorry, guys. There we go. As you swim forward, Kyler, you roll perception.
I noticed nothing.
God damn it.
Water in my eyes! Alright, stop splashing!
Oh, man.
Do you need me to roll anything?
No. I mean, are
Vorak
you
went
paying
to his room. Or not Vorak, sorry. Never mind. I thought you said Xander. And I'm like, Xander went to his room.
Are you trying to listen to anything they're saying? Are you particularly looking out for anything or?
I mean,
No,
I'm
I was
just
heading
watching
over
to make
to-
sure there's no people. Like that I'm just gonna swim into.
No, yeah. Other than that, no. You wouldn't roll anything. Like,
Then
it's
no.
Clearly
It's
obvious.
like, hey, do you guys need a hand with that? Like, how did this happen?
As you're swimming up to them, you can hear them whisper talking to each other. And then as you say that, you see her hand press into his arm. And she does it hard, she pushes with all of her might into his arm. And you hear her whisper something. You can't really tell exactly what she whispers, and you see this faintish gold glow come off of her arm or her hand, and then she moves her hand off of his bicep basically, and the wound is completely healed. And then she turns to you and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Were you saying something?"
Damn.
Nope. Just gonna back away slowly.
"Oh, nice to talk to you."
I mean,
Anyways, and she
you-
turns back
you-
around and
like,
starts
you had
talking.
a problem, but you don't, so I'm gonna.
Oh
be
no,
over
the
here
only
where we
problem
can
is
just continue to wound your partner.
he's a dumbass.
Would I hear that perchance?
Probably, yeah. She's talking loudly.
I'm gonna look at
I'll
him
let
to
out a
see his
slight
reaction.
chuckle.
He kind of just stone-faced takes the insult. It seems like he just puts up with her.
Yeah.
Eventually, she kind of turns around and sinks into the water. And she looks and says, "So I haven't seen either of you before."
No, we just arrived today.
And then he speaks and says, apparently we've got new initiates, Verena.
Are they both human?
She is, you assume, some type of elf. You're not very good with elf categories.
She's got pointy ears.
Yep.
You know,
there you
because
go.
you're racist.
Oh my god.
Be quiet, lizard.
He is. He looks human, but he looks more like Xander than he does human. So he's like a huge dude, but he looks like a human. Anyways, so as he says that to her, she turns around and says, "Ooh, well, enjoy your trials. They should be very fun indeed."
Well, so far we passed the first one.
What was your first one, by the way? Usually they're different.
A bullet.
A boulette. Just the two of you.
There's 5 of us.
Oh. Oh, well. I guess that makes sense for a first trial then, if there's 5 of you. And she says, "Well, my name's Verena. Hopefully you don't die anytime soon."
Well, from the looks of things, you might be able to help us with the not dying part if it comes to it. My name's Kyler. I'll be over here. And the lizard swimming around is Vorag. Don't mind him. He's harmless.
Most Dragonborn are harmless. "Nice to meet you, Vorag." And then the gentleman kind of looks at both of you and he says, "My name's Mansk. Not that she would tell you or anything."
Well, you have a tongue, don't you?
And at that, he kind of like looks at everybody. He looks at Verena and he's like, "All right, well, time for me to get out and try again tomorrow." He stands up and begins like walking out of the pool and getting his robe or his cloth or whatever he's got with him. And then she looks at him and says, "What do you mean try again tomorrow? That thing almost immediately murdered you. Did you not see your arm? That was one of my highest spells. That wasn't just normal damage. It was magical. If you go back there again, I won't heal you again. I'll let you die." At that, you hear him kind of just like grunt, shrug his shoulders, collect his things, and then walk off, like back to the direction of the village.
And we hear all that loud and clear?
Oh yeah, she says it perfectly loud. And then as he walks off, you hear her go, stand up out of the water, grab her stuff, and then start like running off behind him.
If we can help, you just let us know. Have a good night.
Yeah. No attention to you whatsoever. They're like, he's pretty far gone. He's like 100 feet away, and she's chasing after him. The rest of your bath is pretty uneventful. The water's cool. It feels refreshing. It's nice to get all the dirt and stuff off of it. Do you guys do anything else?
Going back to the bullet fight. When he healed me, did I notice it came from him, or did I like sense something other than my deity, or?
Roll religion.
I don't know.
You sensed divine energy, so you know it wasn't like a healing potion or anything like that. You don't know what deity it came from or anything, but you know that you were healed by the divine.
But I don't know from who.
You know it's him. He clearly walked over to you and healed you.
What, me? No, I didn't.
Use the range.
Yeah, it was
did
ranged.
use range. Sorry, I thought you used cure wounds.
No.
Well, then no, you do not necessarily know that it's him. You just know that you were divinely healed, and that's probably some kind of spell.
Borag,
Hmm.
who healed my wounds in that last battle? You didn't see?
No, I was in the middle of fighting the bullet.
I owe them one.
It might have been Nathan.
I don't think he would help on a trial, but it's possible.
Yeah.
Maybe there's more to that Xander fellow than we thought.
Maybe.
Probably not. And I'll
That would be a stretch.
get out and grab my armor.
Yeah.
Start heading back.
Okay. All right, yeah. So you make your way back. Vorag, do you follow or?
I'll swim a little bit longer and
Okay.
then get out of the pool and head back also.
Eventually, you guys do both make it back. You walk inside the inn. It's getting pretty late now. It's about 10. Maybe even a little bit later than that. The inn is pretty dead. Like, there's nobody in the front sitting at the tables or anything like that. Inris is sitting at her, like, a little table next to the counter with a cup in front of her. As you walk in, she looks and says, "Oh, I was just waiting for you to return so I could show you where your room was. I forgot to do that before you left."
Oh, how very kind of you. You could have left a note or something. You didn't have to stay up and wait for us.
"Oh, it's fine. I stay up late and wake up early. Sleep is not my best of friends, unfortunately." So she gets up and she begins to walk you back into the back. She says, "Well, I do hope that you enjoyed the stream bath. It can be a little hard to get used to if you're used to normal bathing."
It wasn't terribly unpleasant.
Well, that's good. Eventually, she walks back all the way to the back and opens the door and says, "This is where the men will be staying. Tiny is in that room just over there." And she like points across the hallway.
Thank you.
"Absolutely. Good night, gentlemen." And she kind of closes the door behind you, and you can hear her walk off. Now, let's back wind a little bit. Stisk and Xander, did you guys do anything, or did you just go straight to sleep?
I was
I
gonna
went- Oh, sorry.
go and just train at the field if I was allowed to actually go there. Where you mentioned like there was the archery range and some training dummies.
That was all the way up, back through the keep, and then
More stairs. Never mind. Back to bed.
I picked a nice spot between two beds on the floor.
Okay.
It
Did you-
stiffened up, and it just fell straight down between them.
No pillows or anything?
Pillows.
Right.
Roll
got
the
it.
fall through the floor.
Roll the ball.
The stone mountain. Yes, roll the fall through it.
I don't know if we
Okay.
were on the first, or the second story.
So you guys are.
Was there a big thud when I fell?
Oh yeah.
People below.
Well, I mean, you're on the. This is like a ranch type.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a second story
No.
where he'd be able to fall through some wood
Okay.
floor or something like that.
Yeah. So you just hit stone. There was a thud though. It's kind of weird.
Fine with that.
So Kyler and Vorag, you guys enter, and both Stisk and Xander are asleep.
How many more beds
Pretty
are there?
bad.
There's currently 5 free beds as Xander is asleep on the floor.
Between two beds.
All right, then I'll grab one of the extra blankets from one of the beds, just nonchalantly toss it on Xander, and then go crawl into one, get all naked and shit for sleep.
Okay.
Throw my stuff onto a bed to claim it, and then I'll go knock on the tiny store.
Okay. Now, during the bathing scene, what were you doing, Tiny?
To Tiny?
No. What was Tiny doing while they were off bathing? Did you go to sleep? Did you read? What did you do?
I read a little bit, like the first chapter,
Okay.
and then I went to bed.
Okay. So, yeah, you knock on Tiny's door. Cat, roll perception.
Okay.
You kind of maybe hear him saying something, or you hear like a noise. It's up to you on whether or not you roll over and wake up, or...
I ignore it.
Yep. Hi, Jay. No, Dula is not dead.
Yet. It wouldn't be a day without me.
Yeah, so you knock on the door and nothing really happens.
Alright. I head back to the room then.
Okay. And you just go to sleep?
Yep.
Dope. Roll perception.
Just
Who?
me?
Who?
Just you. Just Kyler.
I did it!
Dope. Roll religion.
I did better!
Whoa.
Nice.
All right.
He's like, finally.
I've been sitting on this for a while. All right. So as you drift off to sleep, finally, you're feeling really good. You're feeling really comfortable. Eventually, you see or feel yourself waking up. As you start to wake up, you look around and you realize that you're not in the inn anymore. That you are in a swirl of mist.
Not again.
As you look around, you can't make out anything discernible, really. There's not, any kind of shapes or anything like that. You eventually stand up and go to walk. As you begin to walk, you see the shadowed figure in armor again. And he holds out a hand to you.
Reach out to the hand.
He takes your hand and kind of pulls you like around, so you're looking, and in front of you is that forest pool that you were at before. And standing next to that forest pool is the Dryad.
Oh.
She looks at you and looks at the person standing next to you, and she says, "Welcome, my child. I see that you have met one of my priestesses earlier, who probably appeared to you in a form quite similar to mine."
Priestesses?
Of the forest, yes.
The one in the bath?
No. This is the forest. The Dryad that Tiny met that gave her that spell.
So it's a different dryad that looks similar to...
It looks exact same to you.
I just give her a very confused look.
Yes, you would. 1 second. She looks at you and says, "My name is Maliki." You would know immediately that Maliki is one of the 12 gods of Alexandria. She is the goddess of forest and nature. She is neutral good. But like I said, she is one of the main 12 that are worshipped and has like a head priestess or priest in Alexandria. So you've definitely heard that name before, studied her name, all that kind of stuff. I see many things in you, young one. Standing next to you is your patron, As you kind of turn and look over, you see a man bigger than you, bigger than any man you've really ever seen before. You can tell that it's plate armor now. You can see that he's got a huge greatsword. The greatsword's like the size of you, but he's in like a weird shadow. He's not, it feels like he's not there. She says, unfortunately, as you may know, this deity has been pronounced dead to the world. You know that the god that brought you onto this path is expected to be dead, and that it's weird that anybody even mentions his name anymore. It's understood that he is dead. When you swear your oath to him in the ceremony that I will perform, he will come back. He will be one again. At this, the shadowed figure kind of like turns to you and pulls out his greatsword. And he like points down to the ground, commanding you to kneel.
I'll kneel down and like look up and watch him.
Yep. As you kneel, he brings his greatsword down and like an English knighting ceremony, touches your shoulder with the blade of the greatsword. As he touches your shoulder with the blade of the greatsword, you feel a hot, searing pain burn into your shoulder and through the rest of your body. It's almost unbearable. You can like grit your teeth and stuff like that, but it's still almost completely unbearable. As he does this, he lifts it up, brings it over to the next shoulder, does it again. And it sears and it's burning into your armor, and your armor feels like it's melting. And Maliki says, do you take this oath of vengeance for your family, for your name, to bring back things that were thought dead, to see justice done in the world?
Of course.
Do you swear your oath to your God?
Absolutely.
At this, you see Maliki's hand reach down and touch the blade where it is on your shoulder, and all the pain stops. There's like a flowery scent in the air and stuff like that. There's like a flash of light, and then you look up, your eyes aren't watering or anything anymore, and Horth is standing in front of you, completely out of the shadow. His armor is pristine. You can see his face clearly. He's no longer shadowed or anything like that. He looks down, stands you up, and says, "You are now my one champion. Together, we'll right the wrongs that were set before us." And then you're asleep again.
But why Maliki?
Why not, man? All right. Everybody else, you guys wake up. Your night perfectly fine. In fact, everybody had a really good sleep.
Nice.
I haven't gotten to you yet, Forge.
Shh. I'm making a joke.
Anyways, yeah, everybody wakes up extremely well rested. Dullahan, did you sleep in your armor?
No,
Okay.
because I didn't bother putting it back on after the bath.
All right. Yeah, everybody wakes up. Cat, I'm sorry, Tiny, you probably wake up before everybody else. Do you do anything?
I go to see about getting a suit roll. And I bring the book with me.
Okay.
I want to sit and read it.
You find like a quiet corner table, like in one of the back corners. It's got this nice, really pretty view of the far valley, out of like the little window and stuff. You kind of sit there and you begin reading, and Inris, without you asking or anything like that, Inris actually brings you a tea and a couple sweet rolls. And she's like, I hope you're liking it.
I love it.
Me too. And she kind of like
I am
turns
definitely
around.
taking my time with it.
Great.
Thank you.
She turns around and like begins to hang with the other patrons and all that kind of stuff.
Back in the room
of the guys, yeah, you guys all pretty much wake up around the same time. Like a couple of you wake up first, but go ahead.
Can I do a perception check on Kyler's?
Yep.
Do I know if he like seen some shit or something?
Yeah, roll perception. Yeah, he looks extremely well rested. And as he wakes up, he seems like he's got a different fighting energy than you've seen in him before. You're very good at like judging men's character, like their fighting spirit, kind of just out of how your clan was, and he seems to have a renewed fighting spirit inside of him. You can't really place where it would have come from.
I just smirk.
Yeah.
Start heading out the door.
I'm gonna put on some pants and a shirt and just head out. I ain't even putting on shoes. Fuck that shit.
Kyler just wakes up and sees Xander just smirking at him.
Dullahan,
Yes.
do you have the link for your patron?
He will soon.
Well, we decided on a very specific god, and I'm having trouble finding his thing, so I didn't know.
There it is in chat.
Bam. All right. So, Dullahan, as you wake up, you go to put your armor on and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
On your shoulder, like where the pauldron meets the armor for the plate, what were fasteners, you now have that coin for a fastener on each side.
Oh. I'm gonna look around the room, look at the fastener. Well, thank you. I'll just say out loud to no one in particular.
Right. All right. Yeah, and then you guys get up and eventually walk out into the inn, the tavern, basically. As you guys walk out, you do notice Tiny sitting in a corner by herself at a small little table, reading a book. Something that's not necessarily odd for any of you to see.
Nerd.
All right, then I'll just go walk over and silently sit down.
Okay. You silently sit down. As you sit down and as the other guys are kind of like trying to find some food or whatever, Nathan comes in and says, "Ah, gentlemen, I see you're all awake. Oh, and I'm sorry, madam as well.
Hey, Nathan.
How's
I like kind of
everybody?
wave to him while like still reading the book.
Mm-hmm. How is everybody? Well rested?
Mhm.
Hi.
Great. Good. Well, I need you to pick your best fighter.
I'm just gonna immediately point at Xander.
I just like say as reading, I'm like still reading the book. Like I'm still like engrossed in it. I just say Xander.
That would be me.
Yeah, just immediate point. No hesitation.
Hi. Well, the second challenge will be somewhat of a gladiatorial feat of strength for your party.
Ooh.
Just one of you will do, though.
One is all you need.
Right. We'll see.
Like
All right.
right here.
Yeah, oh, no,
Right up.
not right
Is
here.
it you? Is it you?
It is not me.
Xander,
Come
eat
on.
breakfast first.
I don't fight fairly.
Oh, dirty.
Right. Well, when you fight to win, sometimes dirt is what it takes.
Oh, you fight to survive.
Correct. Anyways, well, enjoy your breakfast. If you would meet me in the keep in an hour or so, we can begin the preparations.
Mm-hmm. Bye, Nathan.
Yep. He walks
Just,
out.
wave him off again.
Those stairs sucked. I'm gonna get a head start.
All
Okay.
right.
Bye, Six.
Does anybody else do anything?
No, I'm just gonna sit there and wait for some kind of food.
I'll have breakfast.
Yeah.
Borag is voracious.
Enris does eventually bring you all plates of, eggs and probably some bacon or some kind or salted pork. You guys eat stisk. Are you going to the keep or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm headed to the keep. I've got rations.
Okay. Yeah, you make your way up the stairs. The stairs on this side aren't as bad. They're still pretty steep, but there's definitely not as many or anything like that. And you do make it up to that wall area, and into the main great hall that you were in the night before. Are you
Okay,
doing
I'm gonna-
anything once you get in there? Or?
See if it's okay for me to go to the training area and just fart around there for the time.
Yeah, you do see Nathan kind of sitting at one of the tables, and if you go out to him and talk to him, he'll tell you, certainly you can use the training dummies and stuff down there, whenever you wish. Do you not wish to see your champion fight?
Could they get me when that happens?
Oh, well, I mean, it's quite a long ways down, but sure.
Down?
The training area is down the mountain, yes.
I'm gonna go back to the inn.
I'm still stuffing my face while reading the book.
Okay. Eventually the time does pass, and you guys know that it would be time for you to make your way back to the keep.
All right, then obviously a little bit before that, I'll go back up to my room. I'll grab my boots and my book.
Okay. Yeah, you do that without any issues. You guys make your way as a group. Vorag and Kyler roll perception. All right. Both of you notice a huge person walking through the crowd, walking through the crowd of the village up to the keep. And you recognize him as Mansk from the night before.
The guy that had the arm thing.
Yeah.
And he's heading to where we're supposed to go.
Yeah, he's heading towards the keep. Yep.
And we'll follow.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on jukebox, by the way.
Weird. There you go.
Unseen.
I-
Oh,
Did not notice that either.
Whoops.
Oh well. Anyways. Yeah, so you guys notice Mansk from before. You follow him into the keep. You eventually make it down to the keep, or well, up and over to the keep. Back inside, and you're again inside that large room.
Do I have to be in combat to help somebody?
Not necessarily, no. Depends on what you're trying to help with. So you guys enter the room. You see Nathan sitting there talking with a couple other individuals. You see him talking with another human male. He's a little bit older. He's wearing plate and stuff like that. and they're having like a pretty animated discussion. And as you guys walk in, Nathan turns around and says, "Ah, just the people I was hoping to see." Are
I'm on
you
horse shoulder at this point, and I'm still reading my book.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
Are you enjoying your time here?
Uh-huh.
It's very relaxing.
Yeah, well, we try to stay as relaxed when we're here as possible. You never know when you might not make it back.
Yep. I'm on my
Yeah.
face of the book.
Okay, 1 second. Is everybody ready? Have you guys
Yep.
figured out what you're doing?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, at this point, we're going to be
Doing
watching
some
the
sort of
gladiator
combat
match. So.
with,
Right? Isn't that it?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it is. Did you pick who it was going to be?
I
Xander.
don't think we had a choice. He was going to
Me.
volunteer whether we said no or not.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
That's probably true. All right, well, anyways. Here in a moment, we'll go down to the pit.
Huh?
All right, so he like sits you guys down. You're able to talk and kind of chill and stuff like that. Does anybody do anything while this is going on?
I'm also reading my
Nope.
book.
Betting pool, unless it's frowned
Always.
upon.
Always a betting pool.
First, I'm gonna check and see if that's a cool thing to do, or
People are free to spend whatever their money. They're free to spend whatever money they want on
All right.
whatever they want.
betting pool.
Everybody kind of looks at you. Some people seem to take interest, and they begin to walk over to you and like, start making the stuff they need to make.
Ah.
One second. Okay. All right. So eventually Nathan gets you guys together. He walks you through one of the other doors on the right this time. And this leads down underneath the keep. Eventually you guys get to a level where there is an opened area. You walk through another set of doors, and in front of you is like a ring with stands around it. And you can tell that it's a sunken floor. 1 second here.
It's my kind of pit.
It is very much your kind of pit. All right. So you guys are led, most of you are led to the like stands around the edge of the pit. And Xander is led to the far side, basically. There is, blood stains in the sand and stuff like that. This center circle here is an actual circle with like a spike pit in the center.
So that part's not sunken at all. It's just like a circular.
No. This is a pit, like another like
It is sunken.
10-foot drop. Yeah. These are probably about 10 feet high, and they've got spikes on the outside of them, just like the depiction is. It looks like they're pretty brutal. All right. As this is going on, he has everybody kind of like stand around, and he says, everybody, welcome back to some more gladiatorial training. This time, a test. On one side, we have our new friend Xander. Xander, before you went in, they took all of your weapons. The guy that you're standing across also doesn't have any weapons. He just has his hands wrapped up and stuff.
Okay.
So it's unarmored.
Do I need to add that to like attack?
No. So what'll happen is it's gonna be like straight D20 rolls.
Okay.
And then we're gonna do. It's gonna be straight D20 rolls, and then we're gonna do like the preceding damage depending on what's going on. I'll explain it as we go.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, so he gets everybody excited. Everybody starts getting hyped up. Oh, that's not the right one. There we go. He starts getting hyped
Last
up.
call for the betting pool.
There's more people that do eventually come and, trade some stuff with you. This guy is like punching his fists together. He's getting ready. He's like shaking off the dust and stuff like that.
I'm like cracking my neck, my knuckles, and
go ahead and add your hit points to your little tokens.
all right. Okay.
Right before the fight starts, I'd like to do something.
Okay.
I'd like to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. Is Detect Magic 100-foot radius?
Let me go check.
All right. As that is happening, Nathan explains the rules that this will be unarmed combat.
30 feet.
Okay. Not to the death. However, if you do fall into the pit or die, it is of your own conscience. And he kind of like looks at both of you for understanding that you know that you could both die.
I don't even look at him. I just look at whoever's on the other side.
All right. And Nathan kind of like turns around and looks at this guy and he says, well, Jeremy, whenever you're ready. You see this guy like shake off
explain him
his...
to me.
So he is a human. Obviously a male. He's a pretty big dude. Even for a human, he's close to your size. He's very battles. They're both in the pit.
But it's not to the death, or is it?
No. They said not to the death, but if you die, you die.
She was in her books. She wasn't listening.
Well, okay, I just wanted to confirm that.
No.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So, go ahead.
He's very battle scarred. His skin is like leather from just like the elements and stuff like that. Like he's fucking been around.
I want to say something. Before
Okay. Go ahead.
I like put my book down like very nice and politely, and I say, "Vor, can you please hold this?" And I'm like on his shoulder. So, and then I stand up on his shoulder, and I cast minor illusion to amplify my voice so that it's super fucking loud. And I say, I said, Xander, kick his fucking ass. Do whatever you have to do to kick his ass. And then I sit back down. Or I'll take my book back, please.
And then I'll just hand her book back and just
open back up, and I go back to reading.
All right. Yeah. So at this roll, go ahead and roll a d20 and add your initiative bonus.
Initiative +1,
Okay.
so 12.
12. All right. So he's gonna go ahead and go then. He just immediately starts running to you, skirting around the outside of this pit, basically. He's actually going to use his dash action to get like right there, to just get right in your face. All right, that's his turn.
I'm going to rage.
Yep. Okay.
So take.
Go ahead and take your attack action. It's going to be D20 plus your strength modifier.
Just keep rolling D20s then. Pretty much.
Yeah, so D20 plus whatever your strength is. Probably plus 3.
Yeah, plus 3 strength. 18.
Okay. So that's an 18. Okay, yeah, so you hit. Since you're raging, go ahead and roll a D6 plus your strength modifier. So /R 1d6 plus 3.
Oh, God.
Hey.
Oh.
All right, so you're ready. You yell out in a primal rage. Actually, you probably howl.
Oh!
Yeah. You do the whole howl thing. You get ready, and then you just go to punch, and he's already waiting for it. He moves. He takes the hit, but it's just like a body hit that he was prepared to take.
Do I add rage damage too, or
No.
no? Okay, just
That's why you're rolling a d6 and not a d4.
okay. Perfect.
All right. So he's gonna go. What's your AC?
13.
Okay. So he immediately, like, as he rolls off from your hit, he jabs underneath you and hits you, doing 6 points of damage.
And half that.
Yep. So 3 points of damage.
I can't click on my. Okay.
He then, as he hits you with that, he swings his leg around and hits you in the shin with his leg. And another 6 points of damage, so 3 points. And that's his turn.
It's just a grate.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not very wide or anything like that. Like, you couldn't fall in or anything.
Pick him up and beat him with the grate.
I'm gonna move kind of around him to this side,
Yep.
maneuver there, and then swing at him here.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. You go to swing at him. Your rage is kind of blinding you a little bit, and he just ducks underneath your fist as you're swinging. He immediately returns again with another hit directly in the stomach. Take 2 points of damage. That's already halved.
Okay.
And then he hits again. This time he just completely whiffs in the air as you kind of like fall backwards a little bit from the first punch. Your turn.
All right, just gonna hit him from here. Haha.
Yes, absolutely.
Plus, yeah. I should just copy one of them.
You can hit the up arrow.
It's not going for me.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
there it
weird.
goes. Never mind.
Yeah, 4 points.
Consistency.
Come on.
Okay. So again, you hit him, but it's like a hit that he's expecting. He takes it on the body. It doesn't seem to do really any damage to him whatsoever. He goes for another kick. Misses again, and he misses, and it puts him off balance. And he actually falls and goes prone.
My turn.
Well, no, because he's still got movement. So he then spends his movement to stand back up.
You slid.
But he did fall. Yeah. All right, now it's your turn.
And that's
That misses. Just kind of like whiff the air as you go to punch him again.
with +3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna start hyping up the betting pool again.
Okay. Go ahead
My
and
fists aren't working either.
take 3 points of damage as he lands a body punch into you, and then you're able to dodge the second punch.
Right. My turn again.
Yes.
This time I just kind of want to shove him.
Okay.
Try to push him back.
Are you trying to do like a grapple or anything, or you just want to push him off of you?
I want to push him at least if I can get to that spike. If you kind of see.
Yeah. I see what you're talking about.
Okay.
Roll a strength. Just a straight strength. So basically a d20 plus your strength, like you already are.
Maybe tackle. Yeah, maybe I'll do tackle and like try to also push him back to the ground.
Yeah, it's the same thing though. You still have to roll that strength check.
Okay. Strength check.
Yep. And he can contest. Okay.
And I
Yeah,
get
he
advantage.
fails. So you're
on strength.
able.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Strength checks and saving throws. Oh,
So you're able to basically put your arms around him. So you have him grappled right now. You want to push him forward?
yeah, push him forward.
Okay. So you can use your movement to probably, while he's contesting you, you guys move probably a good 5 feet back as you have him grappled.
Oh, he already pulled me. Okay.
All right. His
This
turn.
was just my turn. Yeah.
What's your base strength?
17.
Okay. He's still being kind of bear hugged by you. He's not able to like wiggle free or anything like that. He, however, does land a headbutt for 4 points of damage. You can hear your nose crack.
That's halved.
Yeah, that's halved.
Oh.
He actually critted.
I would like to headbutt him back.
Okay.
Is it a d20?
Yeah, it's the same attack rolls.
Oh, God. Dang it.
No, you actually, well, you have advantage because he's.
Should I roll another one?
'Cause you can just hit the strength, like you know how you rolled strength.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
just do that. That's the same exact roll. Okay.
Still missed that.
Yeah, you definitely missed. He was able to like move his head away from you. He saw what you were doing. His turn. He is barely able to like get out of your grasp, so you're no longer grappling him, so you don't have like advantage or anything.
Okay. So I use his turn, though.
That does, he escapes, so it does use his turn. So your turn.
It's gonna punch him now.
Okay.
So should I just roll strength, or?
You just hit the strength button, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
What is going on?
He is going to make a sweeping kick to you. All right, that definitely hits. Roll a dexterity saving throw. All right, so he hits you for another 4 points of damage. And he knocks you off balance, but you don't fall over.
Could I use Mind Stone's endurance on this? Oh, D12. Jeez.
Yeah. So I guess you don't take any damage from that.
You just gonna let me not take damage?
I mean, yeah, because it's only 4 points. So even if you rolled a
Yeah.
d12 plus your constitution, like
Okay.
the odds
Yeah.
of you rolling higher than a 4 are pretty decent.
Okay. Then it's my turn.
Yes, it is your turn. That unfortunately misses.
Nope, that's with the +3 already, so never mind.
He misses his first swing, hits his second swing, 2 points of damage.
Just gonna keep swinging.
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah, he misses. Or you miss, I'm sorry. He moves around to this side of you. Hits for 3 points of damage. Kicks again and hits you for another 3 points.
Oh, that didn't subtract. -3. Come on. Stop subtracting now.
Sometimes roll
Oops.
20 takes.
It's not letting me change.
do
I'm
it.
at 14 now then. Should be at 14.
Yep, I did it for you. Okay, so your turn.
Wanna punch again? God.
Hey, you miss. He misses as well. Twice, actually.
Gets 2 turns. Had better luck rolling the d20 then.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes, you definitely hit. So go ahead and roll that d6. +3.
There's a hit.
Wow. All right. So the 6 is doubled. So that's 12 plus 3.
Damn.
15. There's a good one. This one's like a haymaker to the face.
Yeah. Absolutely. You like reach out with all your strength and you punch him in the face and you hear like his jaw crack underneath your like it sounds like a gunshot, like it rings out across the entire arena as it happens. You guys hear his jaw break and you see blood like splur all over like the floor and stuff like that. The crowd like roars as it happens. He's still standing though. Now he looks angry.
Does he still look like he's not taking any damage?
Oh no, he's rough.
Okay.
He hits you with his second punch for 3 points of damage, which I will subtract.
Now. Hold on. Let's see if there it goes. Okay. I'm gonna just like maneuver back around here.
Okay.
I'll punch him again.
Okay.
16? No, that's 13.
That's 13.
Sorry, +3.
Yep.
Okay.
Misses.
Dang it. No, I can't hit again.
Xander?
He misses.
God damn it.
He misses both of his swings. It's hard for him to like see. He's like kind of got like blood and stuff in his eyes.
Just gonna swing. Oh no.
You miss, yeah. He goes, actually, he moves this way. Goes for the grapple, which hits. Go ahead and roll a strength saving throw.
And since I'm raging, I have
Advantage, yeah.
advantage.
Okay, yeah. So he goes to like tackle you, but you're able to like break out, like you able to put your arms on the inside and then bust his arm, like bash them away from you as he goes to like bear hug you. That's his turn. Your turn.
All right. Since he did that, I'm gonna try to throw him to the ground.
Okay.
Just a strength.
Yeah,
throw?
just do that strength thing.
No. Worthy opponent.
Yeah, he hit you for another 3.
Both hits?
No,
And
just
this
one. Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're looking a little rough.
Just gonna swing at him then. There
All
we
right.
go.
Roll the damage.
It's like throwing out some weird numbers. I'm gonna have to type it. +3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You reach back again and you just nail him directly into the stomach and he collapses to the floor. Panting and bleeding.
And I howl again. Oh!
All right. Yeah. As that happens, you howl again. Everybody kind of like looks around, trying to figure out what happened. And you've done it. He is on the ground.
Is he like unconscious?
No. He's breathing.
I try to help him up.
Yeah, you're able to help him up, and he's kind of like woozy and standing there. Eventually, a woman walks into the arena. Vorag and Kyler, it's Verena. And she kind of like walks up to Jeremy, and she gets her, shoulders up underneath his arm or whatever, and drags him.
I'm like trying to shake his hand. Good fight.
At this, Nathan kind of just jumps into the pit and walks up to you, and he says, "Well done. Well done. Nice to know that this group will have a capable fighter in their midst if needed." Shijin,
Yeah.
roll a d6.
Oh god. Not in chat. Yeah.
Thanks.
You bet on Jeremy.
Xander winning. I did?
That's what I had you roll the d6 for. Odds or evens.
Okay.
So you made probably, or you didn't, like with all the money that came in and stuff like that, you didn't lose anything.
Okay.
But you didn't rake off with 200 fucking gold like you did the last time.
Just a wash. That's fine.
All right.
So I was reading my book like the whole time.
Yep.
And I like closed the book
Mhm.
and I set it on my lap and I go, that was a great show.
I
Have
agree.
Have you finished the book by this point?
No.
Okay. Nathan looks around at you guys and he says, "Well, if you will kindly follow me back upstairs to the Great Hall, we can go over what the next and final assessment would be for the party." Kind of like lead you
off we go.
guys. Yep. As you're walking by, Verena, Xander, she says, wait. She walks up to you and she touches you, and you feel this like weird burning sensation. You're back up to full.
Oh, thank you, miss.
She kind of just like nods at you and then turns her attention back to Jeremy, who's not having a great day.
All right, who's next?
Now, Xander, you just beat the living daylights out of.
Oh, I feel like I'm ready for more.
No, it's time. It's time to rest and recoup. Tomorrow you can beat the shit out of something.
Okay. Did you see that little one?
Yes, it was fantastic.
All right. Do you guys all walk back upstairs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
As you guys walk back upstairs, Nathan is sitting at a table and he ushers you to sit with him. You guys sit down and he begins to talk about the fight, he just like going over the play-by-play, kind of talking to Xander. As this is happening, everybody roll perception. Everybody but, well, I was going to say everybody but Xander.
It's like my fist weren't working. I was like swinging away, but he's
Yeah,
not.
that's
I see.
That's
I
why
see
I s-
everything.
that's why I said everybody but Xander, because you're too into your story to like care what's going on.
I notice everything.
Kyler. I think Dullahan died, or he ran off to get a drink or something.
Do reprise.
Kyler's zoned out thinking of his dream.
Trying to
God
figure
was
out
like-
what's up with Verena.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, Vorag and Stisk, you hear a loud bang. Actually, Tiny, you kind of hear this too, but you aren't really paying that much attention because your head's in your book.
Mm-hmm.
As you look around to see what it was, you can tell that it was the cathedral doors that are opened. And standing in them is this man. It's hard to tell whether he's a human or an elf or anything like that. He looks to be the size of a human, as far as you know, Vorag. He is in full plate. His plate has like moss and stuff attached to it. And he has a huge great sword attached to his back, like slung on his back. He also has a shield. He looks around at everybody and he says, I must speak with the keep's masters immediately. As this is happening, you see people kind of like look around. Everybody seems to be unsure. Nobody knows who this is or what he is or anything like that. It's kind of like put everybody off. Like everybody seems to be in a bad mood. People are like kind of standing up. Some people are like grabbing their bows and stuff like that. He says, please, it's urgent. I must speak. My lady is Miriam, demands I speak. This comes from the gods. At this, Nathan kind of stands up and says, somebody fetch Cerelia. And eventually, you hear somebody call out something, and you see a half-elf woman run up. She is wearing mostly like darkish lavender, like black robes, but they're very like lacy. Think Yennefer from Witcher.
Okay.
Like she's very lacy and pretty and stuff, but very dark and very black clothes and stuff like that. Except she does have a spot of, she has like a red rose embroidered into her chest piece, essentially. And she runs up. And she doesn't run up, I'm sorry. She walks up. She's very calm. She seems to kind of float. She looks around and she says, my name is Cerelia. I act as the, how would you say, ambassador for the keep. What is it you wish to speak to my masters directly about? He looks at her and says, my lady is Miriam, has direct word from Bahamut. I know what you hide here. I've seen it. I must speak with them about the artifact and assure that it is safe.
Artifact?
Roll another perception check, everybody.
God damn it, my fucking rolls suck dick.
Tiny, you heard the word artifact.
I know.
Okay.
And I like peek up from my book.
All right. At that, Stisk and Vorag, and let's see, and Tiny, as he says artifact, and you kind of look up to look at the woman that's standing there and stuff like that, you see her eyes grow immediately dark. Her face doesn't change. She like plays no emotion on her face or anything like that. But when he says artifact, her eyes lose all life. And she says, I'm certain I don't know what you speak of, but it is so urgent that I'm sure I can speak with Sarim and see if he's willing to accept an audience.
Just
come with me. Yep.
A quick question. To detect lies, do I have to like roll for that? I mean, is that like a spell or is
You
that
have to
something
roll insight.
Okay. Let's see here. Insight.
You could see with like the life, like you're a pretty good judge when people are lying to you, especially with your whole mastermind thing. She knows exactly what he's talking about. But you can tell as you look around the rest of the room, nobody else does.
Okay.
And she says, well, come with me then. And then she walks up to him and turns around. And then they walk into the other room that was the other door on the back of the hallway, the one that Cathil did not come from, but on the other side. and then into the back. And that is where we will leave it for today.
Okay.
Well, shit.
Uh-oh.
Hey guys, they got a bomb.
They
Oh,
got
no.
artifact.
Nah, it must be a bomb. Only logical
Okay.
I
solution.
tried to grapple him into the spikes. Oh, he was really strong there.
These cliffhangers make me I'm glad, Gads. I'm glad.
To be fair, I'm playing this and I'm reeing pretty hard.
Plummet knows what's up, so I'm glad to see that woo. All right. Well, I hope you guys had fun. I certainly had fun DMing, as always. We will see you, I believe, next week. Everybody's good to go. So we will see you guys next week for episode 7, where things will get interesting. Yeah. Thanks for playing. Thanks for watching. We love you. Say bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.